Mark Antoni against Jordan Wheel, and we are underway as the puck drops for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinal. Chorney with a good stick check at center ice to jostle that puck free for Mark Antoni. He'll backhand deep. Farnham gets after it. He's crunched hard by Bondarchuk. Puck still loose down in the Manchester zone. Flipped up the wall. Mersch. He is worked off the puck by Ware. Now back over to Farnham. Tried to sidestep Bondarchuk behind the net. That didn't quite work out. And now O'Neill will feed it left wing for Mersch. Mersch out to center ice. Dumoulin quickly off the wall and out. Penguins taking the safe, patient play so far, and this energy line relentless once again. Now Mersch, he'll fire in on Murray. Save made. Puck loose and hammered in on the rebound. 42 seconds in. Jordan Wheel strikes once again. It did not take very long, and the Monarchs lead 1-0. In Game 1, they struck early. Now here in Game 4, they strike once again in the first minute of play.
And that's a tough goal to take for Matt Murray. 8th goal of the postseason for Jordan Wheel. And Murray made the save, but just lost where the puck was. It went straight up in the air and bounced right in front of him. Couldn't find it in time. Jordan Wheel remaining aggressive and knocking it in. So less than a minute in. Certainly not the start head coach John Hines wanted, but it's the dangerous Jordan Wheel giving the Monarchs that early edge.
So the Penguins will look to shake that off. Sheary loses at the blue line, bounces off a player right back to Harrington, and it's Harrington sweeping through center ice. He'll lift across corner. Let's see how the Penguins respond after that early goal by Jordan Wheel. Quickly outletted for David Vandergulik. He's checked from behind by Megna, who lost his stick in the process. Murray leaves it for goers. Vandergulik right on top of him. Now it's Shore from the goal line. Megna knocked down the ice, able to poke it along for Rust. And now over to Sheary it comes from the red line. He'll swing on in, and the Penguins will go for a line change. Rowney, Ebbets, and Tom Kostopoulos, the top line out there for the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. It'll be McNeil around for Kostopoulos. He's checked off by Wheel, so double shifting the top line is head coach Mike Stothers. Now the Penguins able to break up ice 3-on-2. Ebbett, Kostopoulos, and Rowney. Ebbett in the slot for Rowney, but nicely back-checking and swatting it away is O'Neill. Wheel forced to the outside, down to the Penguin zone by Pouliot. Swing past the blue line. O'Neill, he's cut off by Kostopoulos. O'Neill has it knocked off of his stick. Kostopoulos trying to outlet, and he nicely finds veteran center Andrew Ebbett. Andrew Ebbett averaging a point a game here in the playoffs with 6 points in 6 contests. His center ice pass swatted out of midair by Wheel. And look for this top line of the Monarchs to get a ton of time. Nick Drzenovic and captain along with Tom Kuhnackel off the bench will have a delayed offsides, and it will be actually touched with a high stick. And that will leave the face-off down in the neutral zone. We have 17:44 remaining in the first period. The Monarchs have the early 1-0 lead.
You saw the gamesmanship early on here. You saw Coach Hines sending out O'Hare, Mark Antoni, and Farnham in that first shift, and they did kind of some of the things they wanted to do as Merch got hit twice, once by O'Hare and once by Farnham, but it was Jordan Wheel who got that early goal for the Monarchs, and again, double shift and get him right back out there, not wasting any time, getting an opportunity to try to get another one on this Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins team.
The Penguins are still looking for their first official shot hit on net. Nothing clean through center ice just yet for the Penguins as McNeil eats a check from Dowd. Dowd got the worst of that collision. And it's Dumoulin off the wall and out for Kuhnackel. Kuhnackel spins away from pressure. Up the wall, too hard for captain Adrian Kempe, who was a scratch in Game 3. Back in lineup here today for the Monarchs. Now Backman loses it to the neutral zone. McNeil handles for Wilkes-Barre-Scranton. McNeil over to Dumoulin. Tough pass for the third-year blue liner to handle, and the Monarchs are onside. But O'Brien couldn't handle that pass. Now a turnover by the Penguins at center ice. And Wilkes-Barre-Scranton, as effective as they were with the puck's execution on Saturday in Game 3, they seem to be a little lacking here in the early minutes of Game 4. Now Kostopoulos trying to take matters into his own hands. Ebbett can't work by Miller at the blue line. His shot comes in on Murray, and he makes a pad save. Rebound picked up by Ebbett. His clearing attempt handled and kept in by Miller. Far circle for Horvat, and his shot goes bouncing wide. The Penguins up ice. Rowney 3-on-3 through center. Now 3-on-4 as Horvat joins the rush. Wrist shot. That was just offsides anyway. And we're getting another whistle with 3:30 off the clock here in Game 4. Monarchs on top by a score of 1-0.
Penguins yet to get that first shot on goal. It will be something that head coach John Hines can't be very pleased with early on in this hockey game. And the Manchester Monarchs come right out and really in high gear early on in this game. Miller with a great shot on Matt Murray, but he does come up with the save. So the Penguins right now not spending really any time in their offensive zone, and that's something certainly we talk about the keys to the game for the Penguins.
Now Magna able to force a turnover in the Monarchs' end. Magna towards the front of the net, and that's sticked aside by Berube. Just held onside. No, it came inches, maybe millimeters out to center ice, and so a delayed offside here for Wilkes Scranton, and they'll touch up. Over to Justin Auger. He's stripped the puck by Magna, but the long wingspan of the 6'7" forward able to get that back for the Monarchs. Now behind Murray's net. It's Harrington to Rust. Checked off by Shore. Dumoulin make that Harrington trying to get it away. Instead it's Goers. Far corner, ripping it up the wall for Rust. Collected by the rookie forward out of Novi, Michigan. Harrington back over to Rust. He opened the scoring for the Penguins in Game 3. He gives off to Sheary. Sheary over to Magna. Wrist shot, glove down by Berube as Rust and Shore both go into the net behind the Manchester netminder. And we're going to stoppage with 15:39 still left in this first period.
Pair of shots on goal now for the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. You look at that line of Sheary, Magna, and Rust, and you're hoping for big things from them tonight. Obviously, we talked so much about Connor Sheary and the way he's been producing for this Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins team. You can't say enough about what Jason Magna did during the regular season and the way he has played for this Penguins team and the impact that he makes out there. And then you have a guy like Brian Rust who's just been sitting there waiting in the wings coming off that injury. You have to know that he's excited to get out there and try to contribute here for the Penguins in the playoffs.
Mark Antoni wins the face-off forward against Wheel in the offensive zone, but quickly shot out by the Monarchs. This should go down for icing, and it will. And we'll see if John Hines sends on a line with a more offensive flair for this offensive zone draw. But it looks like the checking line will stay out there.
Well, you look early on in here, Obi, and you said it. I mean, it's about the flow of the game, and so far the Penguins haven't been able to get their flow at all. That hasn't been crisp passing. There's been a turnover or two in their defensive end, so they're just looking to get on track here.
Another face-off win. This time it's the Monarchs, and 4-on-3 up ice, Vincent Laverde. He'll bank it off the glass down low. O'Neill shoved off by Dumoulin. O'Neill able to get it back. Wheel set up for the one-timer, but his line mate couldn't find him. Now it's Wheel. Spinning down behind Murray's net. Chorney all over Mersch. Mersch leading all rookies this postseason with 11 points. And it's Mersch putting it to the blue line for Laverde. Across for Bondarchuk. He'll fire. Blocked by Bobby Farnham, and the puck will carry him out to center ice. Now Farnham putting some pressure in on the defenseman in the neutral zone, and it'll be a dump and change here for the Monarchs.
Fans letting you know Bobby Farnham know they appreciate that shot block Tom Kostopoulos got the other night late in that game. And tonight, Bobby Farnham early on in this game putting up the shot block.
Meanwhile, icing on Wilkes-Barre-Scranton with 5:16 played in the first period. And everyone who was on the ice during that icing whistle looks like they'll remain so for either side. Drzenovic was flying last night in Game 3 in his first action since the middle of February. He's centering Tom Kuhnhackl and Kasperi Kapanen. Now Miller with a shot and a block by Kuhnhackl. He's done that all season long for the Penguins. Now Dowd will bounce one to the far side blue line. Schultz, feather pass, goes in the corner. Chorney being ridden into the wall by Kempe. Drug out by Dowd. His shot stopped by Murray and no rebound given up. So Matt Murray has settled down after that early goal by Jordan Wheel. It was Nick Shore scoring 18 seconds into Game 1. 42 seconds for Jordan Wheel here tonight. But the Penguins find themselves coming from behind for the third time in 4 games versus Manchester.
Hey, look at that first game. The Penguins lose it in triple overtime, so they fought their way back in that game. And then you see tonight the early goal by Wheel. Matt Murray, you know, a solid goaltender, young goaltender, but he showed the poise and composure of what a veteran would be throughout this season, winning AHL Goaltender of the Year. So you see that the guy can settle down, and that's what Murray has done so far.
Wheel cuts away from Goers. Goers pressuring him hard along the boards, and it's to the point for Schultz. Quick shot. Never reached the front of the net. Mark Antoni looks to clear, and he'll bat it out to center ice. Swung back in by Shore. Now it's Huer in the neutral zone to Sheary. Missed him. Mark Antoni will field a loose puck in the neutral zone. Couldn't handle it cleanly. And now it's Sheary. Able to force a turnover. Can Huer do anything with it? His pass to the point intercepted by O'Neill. And O'Neill will slide one down the wall for Harrington and Shore to get after. They cancel each other out. Kicked along over to O'Neill. Point pass for Schultz. Around the horn for Miller. He'll throw one wide as it comes around the net for O'Neill. His stuff shot stopped by Murray. A design play by the Monarchs, and Murray able to make the save. And some extra pushing and shoving will ensue. Wheel and Huer coming together. Goers in the scrum as well. And Jordan Wheel, not exactly Bobby Farnham-esque, but he is the player that is definitely getting under the Penguins' skin in this series. 13:43 in the first period. Still to be played. Manchester on top, 1-0 here on WILK News Radio.
Welcome to Master Travel, your one-stop center for all your corporate and leisure travel needs. We offer you the lowest rates in the area with no additional service fee for our expertise. Our certified cruise counselors, Disney, and group tour specialists will help you plan your family vacation, cruise, or honeymoon. We offer all-inclusive packages and more. For personal service and attention to every last detail of your trip, just call Master Travel today.
Hello and welcome back to Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza. Tonight's presenting sponsor is the Times Leader and TimesLeader.com. Everywhere you are, and the Penguins still trying to find their game. After winning Game 3 2-1, the Monarchs have come out with the early push, the early energy, and it shows on the scoreboard and in the shot totals, which Manchester leads 5-2.
When you look at what just happened before we went to break there, Obi, you had a design play, and that's certainly something that the Penguins fans don't want to see, neither does the Penguins coaching staff, is the fact that they were able to set up a play. You don't want this Monarch team with as much talent as it has getting into open ice, and that's what you just saw in O'Neill with a little wraparound there. Tried to sneak one by Matt Murray, but Murray up to the task, comes away with the save.
After the timeout, Ebbett, Kostopoulos, and Rowney, who turned 26 years old yesterday. Birthday for Brian Rust today. He is 23, so obviously they're looking for a belated and on-the-spot birthday present here tonight. Shot goes wide from Carter Rowney. Now Pouliot will fire, saved by Berube. Kostopoulos in the trapezoid, over for Rowney. It bounced away. McNeil, he'll fire, and that goes just wide. Loose puck, near side, taken by Rowney. Rowney up towards the blue line, trying to hold on side, but checked out the center ice by Forbert. Rolling puck comes towards Murray, and he'll just throw it to the corner. Rowney back down low for Pouliot. Pouliot sidesteps one man. Now right wing for Rowney. Back over to McNeil comes. McNeil spins away from Sean Backman. There's some moves from the London, Ontario native. Rowney on side. Monarchs end. Wrist shot off of Gravel, sticking into the netting. And now some extra pushing and shoving ensuing between Gravel and Rowney. But the Penguins, good pressure there from the top line. And the fans a little bit irate that a penalty wasn't called as Tom Kostopoulos was being manhandled down in the slot of the Manchester zone.
Well, these officials early on tonight letting these guys play a little bit, but you saw the crowd really get into the game there, Obi. It's been kind of quiet because most of the play's been in the Manchester offensive zone. Now the Penguins, McNeil getting a shot on Berube, the crowd getting into it, and they are restless. They want to see this team continue to apply that pressure, continue to get shots on Berube, which is something we talked about in the open.
Drzanovic wins one for Kunako, and his quick shot goes wide. McNeil to Kunako. He'll let Kapanen handle far corner. Kapanen trying to spin by Andrew Crescenzi, but blocked away. Taken to the red line by Horvat for the dump down in the Penguins' end. Murray to McNeil. Around for Kunako. Kunako past Laverde. He's knocked off the puck, and Horvat will reset. We have 12:37 remaining in the first period of Game 4. 1-0 Monarchs on Jordan Wheel's 8th of the playoffs. Laverde turning it over to McNeil at the blue line. His slap shot goes well wide. Long rebound over to Kapanen. He'll wind and fire. Pad saved by Berube. And the rebound gathered by the Monarchs, laid down the ice. Will this have the speed for icing? They wave it off. This Hey Pouliot could have upshifted a little bit to get after that one. Pouliot, the former WHL and Canadian Hockey League Defenseman of the Year. McNeil trying to slide one up to Mark Antoni. Too hard for him. Miller had a little trouble handling that one, and now it's Mark Antoni right there on the forecheck, but lost his edge, and O'Neill will fire up for Murch. Murch lifts over the heads of the Penguins defenseman. Puck stops in the trapezoid. Stuff shot, and Farnham there to glove it away, and he'll streak up ice. Farnham being pestered from behind by O'Neill, still able to muscle that puck into the trapezoid. Miller eludes the stick check of Mark Antoni. Murch the other way. Banks by Dumoulin. Now Dumoulin will turn to get. O'Neill trying to battle against Huer. Dumoulin touches up the wall, not past Gravel. Now Farnham. He's unable to shoulder it out to center ice. O'Neill near corner. O'Neill taken down by Huer. Dumoulin throws it up over to Farnham. Now Farnham away from the pinching defenseman, Kevin Gravel. Dumoulin being pestered by Wheel the entire way. Finally chipped out the center by Huer, but it goes into the Penguins bench. And we'll get a stoppage with 11:09 remaining until the first break. Still 1-0 Manchester Monarchs.
And a penalty, Obi. The Penguins going to go on the man advantage as Wheel heading into the box.
So Wheel giveth, and he could take it away with the first power play of the game going to the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. Time of the call, 8:51 of the first. Some sort of hook or hold on Wheel, the penalty.
Just previously, Obi, Bobby Farnham taking that puck out of the air, a big-time play because you had Jordan Wheel who was just hanging around there. If that puck gets loose, you get a nice point-blank shot on Matt Murray, but instead it's Farnham clearing the puck away, and now here go the Penguins. They had 5 consecutive power plays on Saturday night. Here's their first one tonight.
Ebbett, Sheary, Kostopoulos, Pouliot, and Dumoulin. The power play for the Penguins, number 1 in the AHL here in the playoffs at 34.6%. But an early face-off win by the Monarchs will clear the zone. Dumoulin leads the rush, gives it up to Pouliot's right side. Pouliot rims around the wall. Sheary and Schultz go after it. Chipped over to Sheary. Vandergulik and Schultz in the area. Kostopoulos and Ebbett as well, and Sheary finally gets a chance to set up. Dumoulin, far circle for Pouliot. Wrist shot towards, and that went just wide with a screen in front. Sheary to the sidewall, to the captain behind the net. Now left corner for Sheary once again. Sheary to the point for Dumoulin. And wrist shot goes off the glove of Schultz, out of play. As Schultz reaching out, using his 6'6" wingspan to deflect that into the netting behind Berube. Still 38 seconds, just 38 seconds gone here on the power play for the Penguins, but they've been able to get access into the offensive zone, Colin, sit up and get some shots in on net.
And that's exactly what you want to do. You want to pass the puck around, you want to create some activity, but you want to get shots in on Berube and try again to find a way to put one in.
Ebbett wins this one to Sheary. Now Dumoulin try to force one through some traffic, and that kicks off a skate out to the neutral zone. Now Pouliot being pestered by Justin Auger. Dumoulin to Sheary. Sheary tried to feather one into the zone. That's knocked down, and Dumoulin forced to regroup back down in the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton side of things. Kostopoulos back pass to Pouliot. Shoots one up to Ebbett. Now Ebbett will weave into the Manchester end. He's knocked off, but Pouliot there to support. Pouliot toe drags past his man. Pouliot in this crease, couldn't get a shot in on net. Now Kostopoulos knocks down Bondarchuk. Auger looks to clear as he spins it around the wall. Dumoulin races over to hold on side. Bats in the corner. Kicked free for Sheary. And now Sheary, point pass for Dumoulin. Now the Penguins will set up. Traffic in front. Pouliot fakes a shot. Across near circle for Sheary. Now he'll fire. Saved by Berube, and no rebound given up. As Kostopoulos having a stick held by Bondarchuk. And they finally separate, helped along by the officials. 9:41 remaining in the first period. 32 seconds left in the man advantage. It remains 1-0 Manchester.
Some good action, though, by the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. Connor Sheary getting a wide-open look at Berube, and you had Kostopoulos and Ebbett there just in case there was a rebound to try to punch it in. How about that nifty stick work by Derek Pouliot getting in? Couldn't get the shot off, but that's what you're seeing from this rising star within the Penguins organization and Derek Pouliot.
And so with just over a half minute remaining in the power play, left circle face-off. Rowney wins it back to Chorney. Now he'll fire towards the front of the net. That went off as Schultz's stick and wide. Harrington leaves it down low for Kuhnackel. He's ridden off by Forbert. Chance to clear here by Crescenzi. Kept in by Chorney. Now Chorney walks across the point. His shot goes off as Schultz stick again. Now backhand shot blocked down. It came right to Magna, but it bounced over his stick before he could get a chance in on net, and it's cleared out by the Monarchs. That should just about do it for this power play. Magna drives down the left side. Spun off the puck by Forbert. Puck still loose at center. Harrington flings over to Kapanen. Too hot for him to handle. And we're back to 5-on-5. 9 minutes remaining in the first. Zach O'Brien, as we say, no relation. Forbert, right side for O'Brien. Now Wheel trying to leave in for Backman. Wheel staying on the ice now. Will be joined by his line mates O'Neill and Murch. O'Neill across blue line. Wrist shot save is made, and rebound ripped away by Goers. Kapanen unable to clear out. Wheel, far circle. Wheel into the slot for O'Neill, and that's poked away by Harrington. Now a turnaround shot from the blue line. That's blocked by Mattia Marc-Antoni, who is just getting back to his feet. Now wrist shot from Miller, patted away by Murray. Wheel spun to the ice by Farnham, and that's going to be another penalty on Jordan Wheel, and another power play upcoming for the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. Wheel unhappy with it as he shakes his head and takes a long skate to the penalty box, and the fans here giving their approval. We'll take a break. 8:23 remaining in the first period. The Penguins trying to tie things up when we return on the power play on WILK News Radio.
Cross Valley Federal Credit Union. Your community credit union is a full-service financial institution insured by the NCUA. If you live, work, worship, or go to school in Luzerne, Lackawanna, or Wyoming counties, become a member today. Visit any of their 9 locations or online at crossvalleyfcu.org.
It's Modern Family all week long. Monday, get up.
I get up at 6.
I get up at 5.
Seriously, I get up at 6.
That's you? I thought we had a raccoon.
Tuesday, mess
If I
up.
had a nickel for every time I puked at school, you know how much money I'd have?
35 cents.
Exactly.
Wednesday, dress up.
You're not wearing a fedora, Phil.
Thursday, look up.
I found a dead snake. Not dead, not dead.
Friday, hook up.
Do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk in again?
Modern Family, nightly.
Weeknights at 6 and 6:30 on Fox 56.
So Jordan Wheel to the penalty box for a second time here in the first period. Penguins do the power play for a second time as well, trying to tie things up.
You hope for some similar sustained attack as they did have in the first power play. Jordan Wheel very frustrated as he went to the box, scores the early goal, but now responsible for 2 power plays for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins as they take the offensive zone face-off.
Ebbett, Sheary, Kostopoulos, Pouliot, and Dumoulin, the top power play unit, out there once again. Ebbett against Shore. Sheary trying to get to the loose puck. Ebbett will instead as Kostopoulos will backhand to the blue line for Pouliot. Pouliot fakes a shot near circle for Sheary. Sheary in front for Kostopoulos. Had his stick lifted at the last second by Bondarchuk. Dumoulin to Pouliot. Trying to swing back over to Dumoulin. He turns it over to Dowd. The Penguins get back on the fence. Shore looking for the rink-wide pass. Calling for it, but instead the Monarchs will just take the safe play, dump in, and Pouliot will give it left wing for Sheary. Trying to whip across corner. Glove down by Ebbett. Pouliot will swat it near side. Pouliot to the point for Sheary. Traffic in front. Dumoulin. He'll wait and hold. Gives it to Sheary once again. Now Sheary over to Pouliot. Pouliot wrist towards save by Berube. Rebound put wide by Kostopoulos. Berube may have gotten a piece of that as well. Now to the blue line for Dumoulin. He'll walk it across. Dumoulin, top of the left circle for Sheary. Tried to find Pouliot, but the pass in his skates. And Pouliot resets. Sheary once again. Sheary near side. Nice block by the Monarchs, but it comes back to Sheary. His shot intercepted by Schultz. And wristed out of the zone for a second time by the Monarchs. 53 seconds remaining in this man advantage. The Penguins having a lot of shots blocked here by Manchester. Kapanen onside as he lifts it down low. Funny bounce in behind the trapezoid of Berube's net. But the goaltender able to snuff that out. And another clear out by the Monarchs penalty kill. Rust for Chorney. A half minute remaining in the man advantage. Chorney over to Megna. Megna trying to get by Miller. Instead, he'll give it over to Kuhnhackl. Kuhnhackl around the boards for Rust. Back now near side for Megna. As Megna rolls it over to Kapanen. Kapanen away from the stick check for Crescenzi. Chorney will fire. That goes wide. Kuhnhackl to the rebound. Now to Rust. Rust waits and holds. Try to spin one to the point, but Chorney not in the area. And that will help the Monarchs clear the zone. Now we'll do it for Wheel's second minor. Rust over to Megna. He'll chip by Bondarchuk, but Gravel came on over to intercept. Hard off the glass, all the way down by the Monarchs, but Goers there to pick up. So no icing on the Monarchs. And it's Harrington in front of his own net for Goers. Back to Harrington as the rush starts up ice. O'Neill trying to get back in the play. Harrington gains center ice. Backhands in. Taken by Jean-Francois Berube. Covered up, and Farnham comes late in the play. Skates a little too near Bobby Farnham for the Monarchs' liking. And that will draw some extra pushing and shoving. Mark Antoni, he's being held by 2 Monarchs forwards now. The linesman will step on in.
Well, if there's a little extra pushing and shoving, not shocking that it's the Farnham, Mark Antoni, and Weir line that's out there. Farnham just a little bit, he only has one speed. I mean, he just goes at it, finishing that play and finishing it hard. When you look at the Penguins, now lead the shots on goal 7-6. They were down 5-2 early on. So you look at it, they have actually 5-1 in the last several minutes, and that's aided by those power plays, just unable to cash in and tie this game up with 2 power plays after 2 penalties on Jordan Wheel.
Mark Antoni will get kicked out of the faceoff circle. Farnham will take his place as this draw stationed left side of the Monarch zone. One in by Farnham. Berube there to make a save. Bondarchuk now for O'Neill. O'Neill skates away from Uer. Farnham on the back check. He'll poke that away, but it still rolls deep into the Penguins' end. Shore, near side, quickly to the blue line for Laverde. Across for Bondarchuk. Wrist shot comes in on Murray. Plenty of time to make that save. Now Farnham and Wheel, they go after it once again. And this time it looks like it's going to be Bobby Farnham being called. High sticking would be the penalty. Who's going to the box? No, not Bobby Farnham, but Taylor Chorney, the guilty party. And the Manchester Monarchs will get their first man advantage of this contest, looking to extend their 1-0 lead. 5:38 left in the first period. We'll step aside. This is Penguins Hockey on WILK News Radio.
At McCarthy Tire and Service Centers, we have some impressive numbers. After 87 years, we're the 7th largest commercial tire dealer in the U.S. with over 40 locations in 7 states. Right? So what? Well, the numbers just mean you can always count on a huge selection of tires, ASE certified repair and service, and most of all, you can count on us handling every tire and service as if it was for our own family. Locations in Wilkes-Barre, Kingston, Hazleton, and Scranton, or online at McCarthyTire.com. McCarthy Tire, count on us.
Fans, be ready for game day. Move your money with a simple slide. It's the Money Bar feature in PNC Virtual Wallet. Visit PNCVirtualWallet.com. PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Preferred bank of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC. So not only are the Penguins on the penalty kill, but Taylor Chorney, one of their best PK defensemen, in the box for the next 2 minutes. And we always talk about key moments, and perhaps a little too early in this game, but a significant moment for the Penguins. They do not want to go down 2 to the Monarchs.
No, certainly not, Obi. And you look at the way the penalty kill for the Penguins has played this postseason. It's been well, so you hope that they step up in this moment. Matt Murray settled in after that early goal, but this is an opportunity, a golden one for the Manchester Monarchs.
And they win the face-off. Miller feeds over the Shore far side, banks it down low for Mersch. And now rolls along the wall for Wheel. Wheel trying to get it away from goers. Ebbett, Harrington lurking in the area as well. They dig after it near side. Ebbett comes into the pile. Trapped along the wall by Wheel, and no one seems able to dig it out just yet. Finally, it pops free, and it's taken back by Miller. One-timer saved by Murray, and he covers up the rebound as it was laying right in front. Big one-timer by Shore, and Murray able to fight it through the traffic and make the save.
Matt Murray, again, one of those saves that we'll look back at, and here he comes off the face-off. The puck just gets battled along the wall, and then the one shot by Shore, and Matt Murray knew the Mersch was sitting right there if there was a rebound. Instead, Matt Murray covers it up, and the Penguins avoid one.
Just 28 seconds off the clock here on the first power play of the game for the Monarchs. Rowney looks to win the face-off, does so. Dumoulin trying to settle down the bouncing puck. Centering pass goes off the heel of Mersch's stick, and now the Penguins trying to get possession once again. They dig after it once again near side. Kuhnackel taken down the ice. Dumoulin as well. They're back to their feet, and the puck is back to the blue line for Wheel. Wheel center blue line. He wants to wind and fire. Instead, gives it near circle for Mersch. His shot stepped in front of by Dumoulin. Can the Penguins get it out to center ice? Yes, by inches as Wheel resets. Partial line change for the PK unit of Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Puck rolls up the top of the dasher. Now deep for Dowd. Fanned on that pass up toward the blue line. Now Kuhnackel on the backhand trying to clear out. He can't do so, but Rowney can, as he's able to fight off a stick check from Jordan Wheel and clear it all the way down. 4:22 remaining in the first period. Still 40 seconds remaining in the high-sticking call to Chorney. Backman has it knocked off of his stick by Megna, but now he gets it back. Now a quick wrist shot goes off the heel of Murray's stick. And it's Megna trying to get to the loose puck. Instead, Harrington wins the race, and he lifts it all the way down. The Monarchs not without their chances here on the power play, but the Penguins may have bent, but they haven't broken. 16 seconds still left in that power play. Backman trying to center. Comes over to Dowd. Saved by Murray. And Ebbett quickly clears the rebound away, but not out. Laverde. Far point for Bondarchuk. To Dowd, back to Laverde it comes. His shot stopped by Murray. Rebound loose, put back towards the front of the net, and Murray has it somehow as the power play expires and the whistle sounds.
Big save by Matt Murray, and you had Harrington laying down on the ice trying to take it as many shots as he can. There's the shot on goal, and Matt Murray just staying down. Puck, who's probably got lodged under Harrington a little bit as well, but there were plenty of Monarch jerseys hanging around there around Matt Murray, and that power play, again, the Penguins dodging a bullet there. Nice attack by the Manchester Monarchs, but they are unable to cash in.
So take a breath, Penguins fans. The Penguins back to full strength. 3:37 remaining in the first. It stays 1-0 Monarchs, and this faceoff comes to the left of Murray. It's won by Drzenovic. Pouliot off the wall, but not out. Gravel took that one up high and has been to hold in. Meanwhile, Sheary decks Gravel into the bench door of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins that opened up. A dangerous play, but looks like everyone involved is okay. Now a shot comes towards Murray, weakly so, and he'll get the cover. Again, pushing and shoving. Crescenzi and McNeil getting acquainted. Auger and McNeil also.
McNeil seems to be in a lot of these. And Auger and McNeil going. That's what happens in a series, Obi. I mean, here we are in Game 4 of a 2-1 series, a tightly contested series between two great teams. And sooner or later, the tempers are going to boil over just a little bit, and you've got the guys out there that can happen with in Auger and McNeil. So as the Penguins and Monarchs battle out here in this Monarchs offensive zone faceoff.
Coming to the far circle of the zone, Drzenovic staying out there with Kapanen, Kuhnhackl, McNeil, and Pouliot. It'll be Shore against Drzenovic. False start on the draw, and we'll do it once again. Meanwhile, from out of town, the Hartford Wolfpack lead the Hershey Bears 1-0 on Joey Crabb, getting his third of the postseason, victimizing his former team. Face-off won by Drzenovic. McNeil cuts out from behind the net, gives up to Kuhnhackl, pushes by Gravel. Drzenovic flutters it further for Rust, trying a little give and go with Drzenovic, instead denied by O'Brien, taken back by Kapanen, and he'll send it to the blue line to be collected by McNeil. McNeil to Rust, rink wide pass. Pouliot backhands over to Kapanen, and now flung far corner for Drzenovic. Gravel loses his edge. Now Drzenovic pulls out the corner over to Kapanen. One-timer and a big pad save by Berube. McNeil dumps it back down towards the front of the net. Rust cuts away from pressure. Rust reverses direction along the wall. Cycle pass for Drzenovic. In front for Rust, and he's knocked down by Shore at the last second as that shot goes wide. 3-on-3 here for the Monarchs as they take it onside. Forbert waits and holds, doesn't have anyone heading towards the front of the net, so he'll kick in the corner. Horvat puts a big check in on Pouliot, but the rookie defenseman no worse for the wear. Kapanen to Pouliot. Pouliot throws a little shoulder fake in on O'Neill. The Penguins trying to get a line change here. Huer taken off the puck by Murch. It comes rolling around the wall behind to Murray for Pouliot. Now for Mark Antoni, just out of his reach. It's Bodnarchuk banking up for O'Neill. McNeil will send him to the ice. Play just onside, but it's the Penguins having control. To center for Mark Antoni. Farnham and Mark Antoni just onside. Mark Antoni cycles deep for Farnham. Farnham far corner. Has some help with the blue line, but now will take it down low. Mark Antoni in front for Ware. Pass blocked. It goes high up in the air. Out of play. And we'll get a whistle and an offensive zone face-off upcoming for the Penguins.
Okay, when you look at this first period, I mean, it's only a 1-0 score, but these teams have combined for 21 shots on goal, 12-9 right now in favor of the Manchester Monarchs. When you look at the way these shots have been produced, you could safely say that the majority of the Penguins have been with the man advantage on the power play. They have been able to sustain attack in the zone. When you look at Manchester on the reverse side of things, they've been able to do it a little bit on the power play and 5-on-5 as well.
It'll be Ebbets, Kostopoulos, Rowney, Harrington, and Goers. They had a good shift last time they were on the ice. The Penguins still trail 1-0 with 104 seconds left in the first period.
That's good math.
Thanks, man. Ebbett against Dowd. Right side of Jean-Francois Berube. One over to Kostopoulos, trying to elude the hook of Vandergulik, and now Kostopoulos in front. Went off the heel of Rowney's stick and just wide. To be picked up by Backman. He skates one-on-one against Harrington. Backman, he dumps and chases. Goers gets there first, over for Ebbett, but now puts it right on Vandergulik's stick. He tried to center, blocked by Goers, comes to Backman. Backman to the point for Laverde. Quick shot, deflects off Kostopoulos' stick, but it snapped his twig in half, and the captain will get a new piece of lumber from equipment manager Paul DeFazio. Magna into the Monarchs bench at center ice. And Magna, he had a tough game yesterday. Checked from behind, got punched in the face, took a couple high sticking penalties, and Jason Magna definitely looks like he's been through a playoff series or two so far.
There's nothing like a hockey player, right? They just keep on ticking throughout a playoff series, throughout a season. You can see a lot of bumps and bruises and breaks, and you know what? They just keep going back out there and battling away. When you have a chance to win a Calder Cup, very few things will slow a player down, and that includes Jason Megna.
Magna puts a check in on shore, but not before the Monarchs forward dumps it down in the Penguins' end. Now centering pass. That's nicely broken up by Rust. Sherry trying to lead up for Rust, just out of his reach. And now with less than a minute remaining in the first, it comes to shore. Rink wide for O'Brien. Too far for him. Pouliot plays over to McNeil. Now turnover at the blue line. Picked up by Auger. Auger forced to the outside by Pouliot. Auger trying to muscle by. Now it's McNeil and Shore, the new combatants, far corner. Magna and Auger go after it. McNeil unable to poke it away. Auger so strong along the wall with that long reach. To the point it comes for Gravel. Near side for Murch. He's stopped by Murray, who settles things down, freezing the puck.
Murch, one of those dangerous players, Obi, for the Manchester Monarchs, and he had a shot right at Matt Murray, who, again, since that early goal in the opening minute, again, from Jordan Wheel, has settled in, and there's the shot for Murch right in on Matt Murray. Comes up with the save, his 12th of this very first period.
28.6 seconds remaining in that period. And the face-off eventually controlled by Chorney, but now he's checked into the wall by O'Neill. Strung up the dasher by Ware. Now Abbott tries to leave out. Couldn't outlet for Farnham. Hammered back in by Bodnerchuk as Farnham came up high with the shoulder stick and everything else you could throw at the Monarchs defenseman. Home run pass intended for Abbott instead. Denied by the Monarchs. O'Neill checked off from behind by Farnham. He'll just take the puck in the corner, wait for the rest of time to expire, and the horn sounds on the first period of play. Players having a little extended conversation in the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton side of things, but nothing to come of that as the Monarchs strike 42 seconds in. Jordan Wheel doing the honors, becoming the first Manchester Monarch and the second Monarchs player to score 8 goals in a playoff series since Patrick O'Sullivan. And he's given the Monarchs the 1-0 lead after one. The Penguins get outshot 13-9, go 0 for 2 on the power play, 1 for 1 on the penalty kill, but one bad break for the Penguins, and they find themselves down heading into the intermission.
Well, statistically, if we look at it, we always can go back and say, okay, well, whoever scores the first goal usually wins the game in this series. You look at the way the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins played in that first period. Look, that was an early blow. That 42 seconds in, you're down 1-0, and Jordan Wheel, a guy that's had so much production in the playoffs, but the Penguins responded. Matt Murray came up with some big saves, being outshot 13-9, so the chances were there for the Monarchs, and the Penguins limited them to 1 goal. So with 20 in the book, head coach John Hines can walk into that locker room with his team in the game, making some adjustments and looking to come even it out here in the second 20.
And with that, we'll take a break here at Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza. When we return, we'll talk to Brian Rust when we come back on the Coors Light Intermission Report on WILK News Radio.
Remember today when you had to do that thing? You know that thing I'm talking about. Maybe it was tough, or maybe it was thankless, or maybe it was
Hey, Jake.
or whatever. You know what it was.
Yeah, man.
Guess what? You
I
did
forgot
that.
to
You
edit
nailed
the
it.
outs
Well
of
done.
this.
You're proud
Okay.
of you. Your friends
So
are
we're
proud
going
of
to come
you.
back
So now it's
live.
time
If
to
you
do
can
the
just
next one.
if you can
And
just
that thing involves a beat.
let me know. Hello and welcome back to Mohegan Sun Arena at KC Plaza. Mike O'Brien alongside Colin Riccabon as we get ready to bring you the second period of play. Before we do, want to thank 2Jack Cycle and Power Sports on Cole Street in Wilkes-Barre for providing Tux with the awesome 2015 Can-Am Maverick XXC. Be sure to stop by 2Jack Cycle, only a half-mile away on Cole Street, to check out their inventory. 2Jack Cycle, your power sports authority. Starting things off for the second period. For the second consecutive period, it'll be Farnham, Marc-Antoine Nuer, Dumoulin, and Chorney. And with that, the draw controlled here by the Monarchs. O'Neill will circle into the Penguin zone. O'Neill in the high slot trying to find Murch. Batted away. Penguins are going to get after it. Instead, it's taken by Murch. Pass to the blue line, eludes the defenseman. And the Monarchs will go back to track in their own end. Back on side is Wheel, taken away from him. Swatted in by Uwer, and the Penguins will chase after it. Mattia Marc-Antoine trying to center for Farnham. Came over to Uwer. Now tipped away. Here comes O'Neill and Murch, 2-on-2. O'Neill unable to get into the slot. Nice backtrack and back check by Uwer. He's 3-on-3 the other way. Uwer in the corner, stood up by Schultz. Farnham near side. He'll work away from Miller. Farnham, turnaround shot, almost tipped in by Ebbett, and now the rebound taken by Harrington. Played around the wall. Rowney fresh off the bench. He'll get it for the Penguins. Rowney stops near corner, trying to work away from the long reach of Schultz. Ebbett there, the support. Rowney still on the wall with the puck. Near corner for Ebbett. Ebbett cycles deep for Rowney. Miller puts a good check in on him, and Rowney now tripped up by Miller. Goers and Vandergulik go after. Kostopoulos holds the wall. His wrist shot goes wide off the heel of Schultz's stick, and O'Neill will just fling it to the neutral zone where the Penguins take back. Good start here to the second period for the Penguins, but still looking for a shot in on net. Harrington over to Ebbett. Partial change for the Monarchs. Long change here in the second period. Kostopoulos in behind Jean-Francois Berube. Sent away from him. Vandergulik checked off by Goers. Now Rowney from the sidewall. His shot comes up high on Berube, and a save is made as Kostopoulos is going to get called for slashing, trying to look for that loose puck. Made some contact with the Manchester goaltender, and the Monarchs about to get their second power play of the game.
Here's an opportunity early on here for the Manchester Monarchs in the second period to build on this 1-0 lead. There the captain was, right in front of Berube. The shot goes in, and Kostopoulos gets called for the slash. 29's been hanging down there for most of the game, trying to get one of those tough goals down near Berube, but he comes up with a penalty here, so a golden opportunity early on here for the Manchester Monarchs in the second period, already up 1-0.
So the Penguins on the penalty kill for a second time. Dowd in against Magna, near circle of the Penguin zone. Chorney shoves off his man. Puck pops free, and it comes over to Bondarchuk. Bondarchuk, his wrist shot taken away by Murray after a nice save, and the rebound comes in behind the net. Bondarchuk, left point, half wall for Dowd. Dowd waits for Magna to pass on by, and now sends it near corner for Backman. Back to Dowd once again. Dowd lost stick handling along the wall. Not much accomplishment just now as a point pass finally reaches Bondarchuk. Bondarchuk fakes the shot. To Laverde it comes. Rebound comes off the pad of Murray. Now a quick wrist shot. Make that slap shot from Bondarchuk. Goes whistling wide. Laverde to Backman. Backman, high shot, goes wide. Murray's net, and the Karam will come all the way down the ice. 45 seconds gone here in the power play for Manchester. Both teams change up their units. Ebbett, Rowney, Goers, and Harrington. O'Neill, Shore, Wheel, Mersch, and soon to be Colin Miller. Now a turnover here by the Monarchs. Rowney able to get by Wheel. Rowney in front. Save made by Berube, and Ebbett unable to get to the rebound before it's covered up by the netminder. But Ebbett and Rowney, good work there on the penalty kill to get a shorthanded chance.
Carter Rowney, just a heads-up play. Nothing but hustle by number 17. Again, working to get the puck along the board and then taking it in, not slowing up, not just dumping it in. He was going to take it to Berube, and he does. And their number 25, Andrew Ebbett, was on the doorstep just in case that puck got loose. Nice hard work here on the penalty kill by Carter Rowney and Andrew Ebbett.
Face-off ensuing, won by the Monarchs power play, which has 51 seconds remaining. Comes to Wheel. Wheel with a goal, the only goal in this contest so far, his 8th this season. Harrington trying to chip out the center. Rowney battling against Miller. They cancel each other out, and Ebbett will send it to length. Quickly taking it up ice is Wheel. Magna and Kuhnackel, the new forward pairing. Shore over to O'Neill. O'Neill centers over for Mersch, but tapped away by Magna. Now Magna maybe with some shorthanded pressure. 3-on-2. Kuhnackel and Goers. Kuhnackel drops off for Goers. Goers in front, save made by Berube, and now the Penguins need to get back on defense. Still 13 seconds remaining in the power play. O'Neill cuts away from his man. Now bank past the Wheel. Wheel down the near side wall. Flips over to Shore. Shore trying to stuff shot. Goers defends that well. And the Penguins about to get back to full strength as Kostopoulos comes out of the penalty box. O'Neill, quick one-timer, saved by Murray as he went into the splits to stop that one. Gravel will push it back down low. Goers eats a check. Kostopoulos looks up ice, will send over to Kuhnackel, desperate to gain the red line. Only able to get it as far as the blue line as the puck rolls along. Taken by Justin Auger. He has a little collision with Zach O'Brien, who will now lift it down low. Goers to Kostopoulos. The Penguins still trying to get a line change. Drzenovic chips by Gravel. Bounce away. Now Auger and Drzenovic with collision at center ice. Kuhnackel trips over the pile. Vandergulik checked off by Harrington. Now a bad angle shot by the Monarchs goes up towards the point after whistling wide. It's goers. Near side across the crease for Harrington. To center ice for Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos plays around the wall. Berube goes back behind his net to settle down for Laverde. Laverde's pass handled by Adrian Kempe. Kempe flips back over to Auger, and now across the blue line, but offside was Dowd and Auger, and we'll get a stoppage of play. 15-17 left in the second period, and Matt Murray with the save of the game on Michael Mersch.
You look at the shot there, and Matt Murray, for as young as he is, to be able to come up, getting in the splits, that would hurt me. Matt Murray gets into splits, comes up with a great save, really a golden opportunity for the Manchester Monarchs, but it was Matt Murray standing tall. We talk about some of the things that makes this guy so special is he forgets about some of the early things that go on, and he just moves on to the next play. He takes every time the puck comes in his zone, one shift at a time. And for Matt Murray, that was a game-changing save, certainly, for the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins.
Keeping it a 1-0 deficit here in the second period of Game 4. McNeil out from behind Murray's net. Rust slowly turns up ice. Now, well, chip on him. Trzenovic make that Mark Antoni, and Dowd getting tangled up behind the play. Who's going to get called? Is it going to be Nick Dowd? It looks like it. So the Penguins skating hard, drawing the penalty, and Dowd will go to the box for interference at 4:02 of, make that 5:02 of the second period.
Third power play coming up for the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins here, OB, and here we are, 14:58 left to go in this second period, down 1-0. You want a chance, and here it is for the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins, and it's been where they've been most effective, and where is that? Getting most of their shots on goal here with the man advantage.
And so the face-off will come to the right of Jean-Francois Berube. Ebbett, Pouliot, Kostopoulos, Sheary, and Dumoulin. In front for Kostopoulos, and a save made by Berube. Puck up towards the point. Pouliot unable to hold on side. And so Murray will settle down the puck. Dumoulin will start the rush. Pouliot, stick handle at the blue line. That forces everyone offside, but now Pouliot able to get by defense. Pouliot, stick handle in his zone, sends a shot in on Berube. Puck still loose. Miller will look to get after it. He's checked off by Kostopoulos. Now battle ensues near corner. Comes to Evan in the slot. He couldn't play. Now some shorthanded pressure coming from the Monarchs. It's Mersch and Vandergook. Mersch fires, and he scores. Shorthanded goal by the Monarchs. Their second of the postseason, and it's now 2-0 Manchester.
And that is something that just shifted the momentum so quickly. You look at the one side of the ice when Derek Pouliot's the one that's driving in on Berube, but instead, here's the 2-on-1 shorthanded by Mersch, and he just fired one top shelf on Matt Murray to give the Manchester Monarchs that 2-0 lead. So the Penguins with their chance on the power play, but instead it's the Monarchs who turned the tide to get a 2-0 lead here in the second period.
Still a minute 14 remaining in the man advantage. Long clearing attempt by Murray. Fawn Murray's net goes bouncing just wide. Now lead pass by Chorney, too far from Megna. And the Penguins definitely on their heels a little bit after that shorthanded goal. Mersch unassisted at 5:45 of the second. Now you see Wilkes-Barre-Scranton starting to force things. Chorney away from the forecheck of Auger. And Chorney to Kapanen. Kapanen onside. Kapanen able to get a step. Kapanen fires! Glove save by Berube. Puck still loose. Rust can't get there, but he sends it back to Chorney. Chorney, half wall for Rust. Rust, wrist shot up high on Berube. He makes a chest save and a hold on. Kasperi Kapanen showing his wares right there and his skills, but unable to beat Berube with the mini breakaway chance.
There was Kapanen there. He found some open ice and just took it right up there to get the shot in on Berube, who came up with the save. Another opportunity, and again, it's Berube making the stop. We talk a lot about Murray, but it's from Berube tonight as well. All 17 Penguin shots turned away. Kapanen showing that speed, though, and getting a great chance against Berube.
It'll be Ebbett, Kostopoulos, Sheary, Dumoulin, and Pouliot out there. Ebbett against Crescenzi. Near circle, Monarchs end. Chipped over to Bondarchuk. Now slid around the wall, and Sheary there first. Sheary sets up at the point. Dumoulin across for Pouliot. Pouliot to Dumoulin. Touched along for Sheary. Now Sherry, backhands over to Duhlman. His shot goes over the crossbar. Kostopoulos to the loose puck. Kostopoulos hard around the net. Not hard enough for Sherry. Bondarchuk up the wall, and it's sent further and all the way down by Shore. 10 seconds left here in the power play. Maybe time for one more rush. Sherry tries a pass rink wide. Schultz intercepts, and will hit down. Coming out of the penalty box, the Monarchs back to 5-on-5 hockey. 12:53 remaining in the second. It's 2-0 Manchester. Ebbett up the dasher, out to center ice. Schultz regathers. Schultz over to Dowd. He'll loop up ice. To Dowd it comes. Dowd, he'll fire. Save made by Murray. Rebound put just wide by Adrian Kempe, who beat his man Derek Pouliot to the puck. Ebbett going the other way, 2-on-3. Ebbett lost in front of the Penguins bench, but still able to loop it down low. Rowney coming hard in the forecheck. Puts a good body in on his man. Forbert contending with Rowney once again. Still loose. Rowney in front. Gets a shot in on net, and somehow it stays out. Rowney had Berube down and out. Could not get the puck past the goal line. And it comes to Adrian Kempe, who will transition for Manchester. That's the kind of night it's been for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Now 8 minutes gone in the second. Goers to Drzenovic. Drzenovic sidesteps his man and shoots it into the corner. Around for Forbert. Forbert rubbed off by Mark Antoni, but will dump and chase. Harrington high off the glass to the point for Bondarchuk. Now half ball for Wheel to O'Neill. O'Neill turns away from pressure. Gets to the point for Bondarchuk. Across for Laverde. High slot for Wheel. Goers all over him. Sent down low around the net. Harrington boxing out Murch, but Bondarchuk down from the blue line. Now Murch back in the trapezoid. Harrington spins him off the puck. Now a turnaround shot from the sidewall. Save made by Murray, and he'll get the cover as Farnham and Wheel with some extra pushing and shoving and some stick work as well. Timeout on the ice, 11:27 remaining in the second period. It's 2-0 Manchester on WILK News Radio.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sideline. Rely on the specialists of the Geisinger Orthopedic
Hey, what's the word, Jake?
All right, I talked to Bill, the IT guy. He said he's just going to restart it and everything.
How long ago was that? Because I'm listening to it in my ear, except I'm not hearing anything.
Really? Yeah. Well, that was about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, so.
To find out more or to schedule an appointment with Geisinger Orthopedics, call 1-800-275-6401.
Yeah, I'm sure I could.
Geisinger.org.
Let's have someone actually check to see if it's working before say it's working, all right?
Yeah.
WILK Wilkes-Barre, WBZU Scranton, WKCM West Hazelton, Northeast PA's News Radio, WILK.
Hello and welcome back to Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza. The Penguins with 3 power plays. They have yet to convert, and insult to injury, they allowed the shorthanded goal minutes ago by Michael Murch as the Penguins D caught out of position. And the Monarchs, not the team you want to be caught out of position against.
Margin for error is so small in the postseason, and when you talk about the Manchester Monarchs, they're a quick strike team. They're that talented up and down the roster. It's Murch scoring the shorthanded goal to give the Monarchs a 2-0 lead here in game number 4. And what you don't want to happen for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins is for them to get out of their game plan and start to press and start to push. And you've seen a little bit of that at times here as they've been in this 2-0 hole.
So 11:27 left in the second. And the Penguins will loose puck at center. Drzenovic will take it onside. Near side for Kapanen. He'll push it back in the trapezoid for Drzenovic. Drzenovic up to the point for Pouliot. His shot blocked away. Brave block by Crescenzi. And Horvat high off the glass and all the way down. Drzenovic puts it in front of the Monarchs bench for Kapanen. Slick pass over to Kuhnhackl. Kuhnhackl decked the ice by Bondarchuk. I don't think you're going to get another power play here if you're the Penguins, with just one-man advantage for the Monarchs. Kapanen, far corner. Kapanen, his pass intercepted by O'Brien, and Horvat wants a transition, but he's at the end of his shift. He'll just dump it down low, and now McNeil slingshots out from behind Murray's net. Pouliot gains the red line. He'll float it down into the Monarchs' end. To Miller it comes. Miller as we approach the midway point of this second period. Lead pass off the stick of Shore. Dumoulin converged on by 2 Monarchs forecheckers. He definitely plays it away from Chorney. Now Magna. Too far for him on that pass. Shore rink wide. Kicked off the skate of Chorney and handled by the 7th-year defenseman. Chorney across from Dumoulin. For Dumoulin. Tried to chip up to Rust. Intercepted and hammered back in by Manchester. So the Monarchs doing a pretty good job of stymieing the Penguins' efforts to get across the center ice line. Now Rust, he'll touch in, but Forbert again able to play it away. Forbert down low, Chorney and Dumoulin. Back behind for Mersch. His tough shot goes off the heel of Megnastick. Now it comes back over to Wheel. Wheel from his knees, back to his feet. Shoved hard by Chorney, but Wheel stays strong on the puck, and now we'll kick it down low. Megna picks that off. Wheel and Chorney finally coming apart. Sheary unable to get by Forbert. Forbert's been playing stout defense here in the second period so far for the Monarchs, and Chorney back at his own blue cross blue line has the puck for the Penguins. Kempe able to intercept the pass intended for Farnham. Farnham took a stick up high, no call. As Bobby Farnham looking back towards the referee. Now it's Backman onside. Backman, he'll fire. Glove save by Murray and a wait for the whistle. 9:07 remaining in the second. We will take a break. 2-0 Monarchs here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinal.
At Jeep, a big part of what we do is keeping you connected to nature. Enter the award-winning Jeep Cherokee, named the 2015 Four-Wheeler of the Year by Four Wheeler Magazine. With up to 31 mpg highway, you can get lost in the remote place of your choosing. But reaffirming your oneness with nature requires a bit of effort on your part, too. So the next time you're heading to work in your Jeep Cherokee, deliberately miss your exit and just keep on driving. One drive and you'll discover why Jeep brand continues to be the best-selling SUV brand. Join us now at the Jeep Drive and Discover event. Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 with 24 mpg highway for $289 a month for 36 months with $24.99 due at signing. Tax, title, and license extra. Ward segmentation. EPA estimated 4x2 with available EcoDiesel V6 based on total SUV sales over the past 12 months in the 2014 Ward's Light Vehicle
10 seconds, Mike.
The stream is like 5 minutes behind.
I know. Someone's going to the rack room right now here to look at it.
All right. FCA US LLC.
Welcome back, Penguins fans. It is 9:07 remaining in the second period, and it's 2-0 for the Monarchs. And Wilkes-Barre Scranton has had their chances. He's been unable to find the back of the net like Manchester has.
Yeah, it's been frustrating, I guess is the word for it, because they're having opportunities there. Rowney had an opportunity not too long ago. It just the Manchester Monarchs have found ways to escape without allowing the Penguins to put one in and light the lamp. So Berube's been solid between the pipes, turning away all 17 Penguin shots. And for Matt Murray, he led in the shorthanded goal and the goal from Wheel 42 seconds in, but has also made some key saves to keep the game as close as it is right now, 2-0.
Bondarchuk off the offensive zone face-off win by the Monarchs. Playing down low for Dowd. Harrington, physical defense in on Dowd. Puck pops in behind Murray's net. Harrington, feather pass for Sheary. Now to Rust. Rust stops on a dime, flips into the zone. Sheary gives chase. Dowd wins that particular race. But now turnover for Rust. Rust looking for some options. Hard pass to the blue line for Harrington. No chance of him holding that inside the zone. And now taken onside by Dowd. But what a back check by Rust to separate the puck from him. Sheary spins through center. Sheary gets by one. Sheary onside. Wrist shot goes off the stick of Laverde. And it kicks back over to Sheary. Trapezoidal pass for Magna, intercepted by Miller. And now 4-on-3 for the Monarchs. Backman rims around the dasher. Murray stops it behind his net. And able to find McNeil along the right wall to Ebbett. Ebbett stood up at the blue line. Shore, Miller, and Schultz combined to get that puck out to center ice where Vandergulik works up for Shore. He's 1-on-1 against McNeil. Shore tried a pass to no one in particular. It's Ebbett for Kostopoulos. That's swung away by Vandergulik. Touched up offside by the Monarchs. And McNeil checked after the whistle. McNeil without his helmet. And McNeil having some words for David Vandergulik as the linesmen quickly step in to make sure the gloves are not being dropped.
Well, we use names like Wheel and Mersch and O'Neill, and it's been Mersch and Wheel that have scored the goals for the Manchester Monarchs tonight. For the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, it's been sort of a one and done. They've really not a consistent attack here in this second period for the Penguins, and it's even been tough getting it through the neutral zone. When the Manchester Monarchs up 2-0, they are doing everything they can to just be disruptive now and not let the Penguins do anything, making it very difficult to get the puck in the offensive zone.
7:53 remaining in the second. Chorney and Merch go after a loose puck in the Penguin zone. It's Wheel tracking down the puck that ricocheted in the Monarchs' end. Farnham now loose at center. Farnham plays one up for Dumoulin. Sent around the dasher, and Berube will quickly find Miller alone behind the net. Wheel drops off Miller, circle to circle, as the Monarchs still taking their time getting out to center ice. Mersch's pass clangs off a skate, comes to Farnham, but he couldn't get there before Miller took it right back. Miller for Schultz, back to Miller. Farnham continuing the forechecking pressure. Schultz to the penalty box area, but Huer works away from Wheel. Now coming through is O'Neill, swatted out to center ice. They say held onside. Now shot goes in through a screen, and that was clearly offside. That puck was clearly offside, and the far linesman said it was held onside. And the shot through the screen, the Penguins just stopped playing as they thought that came out to center ice.
Again, just breaks not going the Penguins' way tonight. Is that puck offsides, but said it was kept in the zone, and the shot goes in, and there's the screen, and it gets past Murray. But you can see that the Penguins players, Brian Dumoulin, putting his hand up in the air saying, wait a second, that puck was offsides. But the Monarchs taking advantage of the play continuing, and now up 3-0 here with 7:03 to go in the second period.
3-0 for the Monarchs. Bondarchuk will shoot in from center ice, comes bouncing off Murray, and backhand to the center for Kostopoulos. Rink wide for Rowney. Missed him. Rowney will get it back in front of the Penguins bench. And now Rowney checked off the puck. Kostopoulos with a shoulder in on shore. Harrington and Vandergook, they give chase. Puck back down into the Penguin zone. Rowney will start the other way. Rowney over to Ebbett. High slot for Goers. Bounce away from him. Now Kostopoulos with a stick lift on Bondarchuk. And finally it's worked along for Rowney. Now Ebbett. He is stripped from behind by Shore, and the Monarchs just doing what they want right now against the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. Shot from sidewall, batted away by Murray, and Kempe will leave it back into the trapezoid. Kostopoulos shifts by Gravel. Drzenovic unable to win that race. Rowney at the end of his shift. He'll get it all the way down. It's Bondarchuk. Make that Laverde the captain with 5:55 remaining in the second period. His team holding a 3-0 lead. Now Dowd offside, and we're going to stoppage of play. So, the Penguins.
Made a big deal about Jordan Wheel being off the score sheet. Jordan Wheel picking up that second goal in this game tonight to give him 3-0 lead.
And we'll take a break. 5:51 remaining until the second intermission. We'll take a break on WILK News Radio.
Hi, Wayne Vanskoy. If you're looking for the largest selection of diamond jewelry, you must come to Vanskoy's Diamond Mine on Mundy Street. You'll get the best price and the fastest service with free ring cleanings for life. We offer layaway or interest-free financing. So shop where the Penguins shop, their preferred jeweler. That's Vanskoy's Diamond Mine on Mundy Street in Wilkes-Barre, just below the Wyoming Valley Mall. That's on Mundy Street, on Mundy Street.
Hello and welcome back to Mohegan Sun Arena at KC Plaza. Tickets are still available for our next home game tomorrow as the Penguins look to get back in this series. Still plenty of time in this game to tie things up, but we need you fans. United by the Cup is presented by WBRE. Give us a call at 570-208-PENS to get yours today. And the Penguins, right now, just on their heels and unable to dictate play so far through 35 minutes.
And I think you put it best. They're unable to sustain, dictate, whatever word you want to use, consistently in the offensive zone. And we just saw it moments ago. The Monarchs are really having their way right now. I mean, it's 5:51 to go here in the second period. It's a 3-0 lead. It's not insurmountable. You know, the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins have plenty left in the tank here. A full period of hockey and 5:51 here in the third. But the way this game and this storyline is being written, Jordan Wheel, a pair of goals for the Manchester Monarchs. Mersch with a goal as well. So the top scorers on this Manchester teams are the ones that are putting the points up on the board.
Derek Pouliot turns over to Kempe near corner. And now sent over to Dowd. His quick shot went just wide. Gravel backhands down low. Around for Kempe. Drzenovic unable to work it away from Kempe. Dowd near corner. And it's Dowd. His pass didn't have much muscle on it. Captain and Sherry up ice. Sherry across the Blue Cross blue line. Sends on in. Berube away from Captain. Now Captain trying to center in front after Berube lost the puck, and now his paddle. Captain to the point for Dumoulin. Across for Chorney. Chorney. It's Sherry. Left side. Over to Dumoulin. Far side blue line. Dumlin shot in on net, goes wide, and the long ricochet comes around out to center ice. Chorney trying to force the issue as Dumlin. He'll leave in the corner. Megna and Kunak will give chase. Berube's got his goalie stick back. Megna and Kunackle. Still they battle down low. Kunackle, Megna, and Rust, a new line combination for John Hines. Megna over to Rowney. Make that Kunackle. Dumlin. Reverse direction with the puck. Megna tangled up with his man, but puts a good shoulder in on Nick Dowd. Chorney upended by Crescenzi. Megna drags it off the wall. And the high slot for Kunackle. Tried to tee up, but O'Brien right in his path, and it's shifted out the center for Dumlin to collect once again. His attempt to dump it deep, picked off by Forbert, and he'll send it all the way down. Line change time for both teams. Dumlin circles away from Jordan Wheel, so dangerous. Wheel with the opening goal and this one. It made it 1-0 just 42 seconds in, and the Penguins, though they had their moments, really have never been able to recover since that early goal by Manchester. And now Wheel breaks it onside. Forehand shot never came off his stick as Murray able to poke that away at the last second. Wheel back in on Murray. Save made. Mersch with a rebound chance. That's denied by Murray. Murray trying to get back to his feet as he reaches out to get his goalie stick as well. Wheel picked off by Chorney. And now maybe 3-on-2 here for the Penguins. Megna just onside with Farnham. No, offside as Farnham shoots the puck off the wall. Unhappy with an offsides call that was whistled that time.
Look at Matt Murray again with so much action in front of him. Jordan Wheel had a one-on-one. He makes a heads-up play to get the puck away, and then Jordan Wheel and the rest of the Monarchs are just hanging around. Murray down on the ground, bounces up back on his feet until the puck is finally cleared. Matt Murray, a young goaltender that's growing up before everyone's very eyes, game after game here with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. 3-0 game here in game number 4, but his team desperately trying to fight their way back in.
3:40 remaining until the second intermission. Make sure you stick around for the Coors Light intermission report. Special treat as we'll talk to Sam Kassan from Penguins Inside Scoop as a large contingency from the Pittsburgh Penguins down from the Steel City to take in Game 4 and 5 of this Eastern Conference semifinal. Captain far corner in the Monarchs' end. Sheary trying to work through traffic. Ebbets, point pass. Stick by goers, and now it's Vandergulik going the other way for Manchester. Dropped off for sure. Goers without his stick. Trying to get physical in on the defenseman. And now a one-time pass. And it's shot and a score for the Monarchs. Now 4-0 for the Penguins. Make that the Monarchs with 3:07 remaining until the second intermission.
That was Justin Auger with the great stick pass there to get it out of the zone and into Vandergulik's stick. And then he went up the ice, and that was set up nicely here as the pass to Vandergulik, and he scores the goal. He beats Matt Murray, so Vandergulik rewarded with that goal there, and it's 4-0 now. The Manchester Monarchs with that lead and a big-time hole for the Penguins. A 3:07 remaining here in this second period.
16:53, the time of the goal. What was a 1-0 lead for the Monarchs here heading into the second has stretched to 4. And this equals the total collected by the Monarchs in Game 1. That one went to triple overtime, though, and we still have about 23 minutes of hockey time left in regulation. Zach O'Brien, right side for Backman. He takes a shot, now throws in on Murray. He'll field that out of midair and get a trapper on it. So the Penguins having to contend with Jordan Wheel once again. 2 goals, his 8th and his 9th of the season. O'Neill with an assist, Mersch with a goal and an assist. And the top line deadly once again for the Monarchs.
Yes, I mean, just putting, all over the stat sheet, you're going to see the names that you expected to see, and it's Vandergulik again, and he scores a goal. So, for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, this is now about will. Now you've got 2:46 remaining here in the second. You're down 4 goals. You still got a full 20 to go, and you still have a series to play. So, you have to dig down deep, and that's what head coach John Hines is expecting from his hockey team. And you can see him behind that bench, and he is getting on his team and telling them, hey, we got to keep fighting here.
And so they fight on. Drzenovic will push in the corner. Kostopoulos puts a good body in on Forbert. Rowney skates away from O'Brien, try to cycle for Drzenovic. O'Brien gets in his way. Just held onside by McNeil on a clearing attempt by Manchester. Gravel in behind the net. Rowney read that one. Now trying to get the puck and his stick free. Rowney, right corner, back around for Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos to Rowney, and now center blue line for Pouliot. He fakes a shot. Wrist towards, that goes over the crossbar. Rebound, chipped in behind the net. Now cleared up towards the point. Good bounce out of the zone for the Monarchs. Comes along to Zach O'Brien as Pouliot had that covered, but a funny carom off the glass, split the defense, and now it's Pouliot. Backhanding to the red line for Kuhnackel. Got it as far as the far circle. And it's lifted the other way by Miller. Drops down for Pouliot. 100 seconds remaining in this second period. Kuhnackel will give it to McNeil. McNeil in behind his own net for Pouliot. Reverses for McNeil. Now McNeil out to center ice, but now forced back into the zone. And Pouliot will take matters in his own hands. He banks it off the glass. Penguins get a line change. Kuhnackel putting some forechecking pressure on, but an easy pass from Miller to Schultz. He'll lift out to the neutral zone, and it's Chorney along for Dumoulin. Missed him. Banged up the wall. Sheary tried to chip over to Rust, but instead it's Miller for Schultz once again. Vandergulik eludes a headhunting check from Taylor Chorney, trying to play the physical game. 1 minute remaining in the second. Now turnover by Sheary. Vandergulik, who made it 4-0 minutes ago with his second goal in as many games. Vandergulik pushed off by Chorney. Chorney playing with an edge, and it's Dumoulin along for Rust. Rust now over to Sheary. He is onside. Sheary will shove it into the corner. It's Shore back around for Laverde. Puck kicked off the referee skate. Now to Huer. He fires off the shoulder of Berube as Huer was wide open in front, and Berube makes a big save. Hand pass upcoming on Harrington, but he touched the puck first. That's smart play by Brian Rust to let that one go. It's Shore sending off the wall to himself, and a quick shot off the dasher saved by Murray. 16.5 seconds left in the second period. 4-0 Manchester.
Berube coming up with the save there. Shots in the period. It's 12-10 in favor of the Manchester Monarchs. So the Penguins getting some shots on goal, just unable to get a point-blank shot moments ago past Berube. So when you look at tonight, you feel like at some point something was going to break the Penguins' way, and that's all they would need to get this crowd into the game and to get things rolling along. It just has not happened tonight. But on the other side, just next to them on the bench, you look at the Manchester Monarchs, a lot of the things have gone their way in a 4-0 game tonight.
16.5 seconds remaining in the second. Drzenovic faces off left side of Murray. One to the point for Gravel. Back down low for Backman. He didn't read the pass. Harrington did, and Goers will fling it out to center. Intercepted by Forbert. Maybe one last chance as Forbert checked off by Drzenovic as he tried to let loose. And the puck settled down by Kostopoulos, and that will do it. And you get the feeling now after two periods are in the books and the Monarchs leading 4-0, you need to play perfect hockey against the Manchester Monarchs. Otherwise, you're going to find the back of the net. The bounces haven't gone the Penguins' way, but most of the wounds, you have to say, have been self-inflicted in this one.
Self-inflicted. I mean, when you look at it, the first goal by Wheel, could that have been a microcosm, a save by Murray that goes up in the air, and Wheel's there for the rebound. But the shorthanded goal, I mean, the Penguins on the power play. You look at a turnover or two, and some great hustle by the Manchester Monarchs. Auger with the head up to Vandergulik, and that sets up a goal. So, I mean, you look at it, the Manchester Monarchs came here to play tonight. They've responded following a loss to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins in game number 3 and sit 20 minutes away from going up 3-1 in this series.
And with that, we'll take a break here at Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza. When we return, we'll have the Coors Light Intermission Report, where we'll be joined by Sam Gasson on WIOK News Radio.
Montage Mountain Water Park is making a splash.
Hey, Mike, how's it working now?
Yeah, I just got a word from Pittsburgh Penguins Radio that it was back up, but it was a good,
get a bonus $10 food voucher today at Montage Mountain
period that it was not working.
Summer plans, add Montage
do we know what the problem was?
To your calendar.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I could ask.
Takes the puck right off his stick. Kuhnackel through the crease and wide. Harrington turnaround shot off his stick and wide of the net. And now the Penguins doing here in the third period, which they didn't do much of here in the second and first, was just get shots in on net. Kuhnackel to Kapanen, up towards the point. Kapanen backhands along the wall for Kuhnackel. He'll push into the trap as the Penguins get a line change. Miller, he'll stick handle through center. He'll wrist on in as Murray away from Dowd and over the Goers. Goers to Rowney. That pass just worked out for the Penguins, but a good backtracking stick check by Adrian Kempe will regain possession for the Monarchs. Goers. Pass before checking backman. Kostopoulos loses out to Gravel. Touch along for Goers. Bouncing puck in front. Goes just wide of Zakhoff. He never saw that one. Played with a high stick either way, so 2:06 gone in the third. It would not have counted, but already the Manchester looking dangerous here to start the third and put this one away.
Yeah, looking dangerous here to start the third period, but you know, look at the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. They came out early on in this period. We've got 17:54 to go in the third, and tried to establish, as you said, what they were trying to do throughout the game, which that's 5-on-5 pressure in the offensive zone and getting some shots on Berube. Just unable throughout this game to be able to do that, but here in the third period, getting off to a good start by that. And you have Jeff Zakhoff in goal now. Certainly not a reflection of bad things for Matt Murray, but you know, just give him a break. I mean, he's played a lot of hockey over the last couple of weeks, and this is an opportunity to get Jeff Zakhoff a little bit of work.
So Zakhoff in net now for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, making his first appearance in the playoffs. And a puck has gone out of play in the meantime, and they're going to say a Penguins player responsible for that particular clear out, and the Penguins will see this face-off come out to center ice.
If you're head coach John Hines, Obi, you want to see a strong third period from your hockey team. You want to know that they're still engaged in this series, in the sense of here we are in game number 4, and we talked about that swing game where it was either going to be 2-2 tonight or maybe 3-1 following the horn. Right now, with a 4-0 Manchester lead, it's leaning more towards a 3-1 deficit in this series. So you want to see the will of these Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins players over the last 17-20 of this hockey game.
There's still a message to be sent, and I'm not saying in terms of extracurricular activities or any sort of dirty style play, just in terms of effort, determination, character, resiliency is a word you used before, and just to say we're not going to go away quietly as Farnham puts a big shoulder in on Andrew Bondarchuk, and it looked like the defenseman may have spun away from that at the last second, and I'm sure he's grateful for that. Schultz shoots in on Zakhoff from center ice, bounces around to Shore. Shore's wrist shot from the side wall, that goes wide. Dumoulin, right wall for Chorney. Off the boards and off to center ice it comes. Miller banks up now for Vandergulik. Penguins in the midst of a change. Dumoulin couldn't get out the center, but now it's Ebbett. Dropping back over to Goers. Line combination switching up as are the defensive pairings. Stretch pass intended for Ebbett. That's broken up by the Monarchs defense. Kostopoulos puts a good check in on his man. And now bouncing puck, Kostopoulos. Far corner has Rowney set up in front. His centering pass, though, broken up by Shore. Harrington to the point for Ebbett. His shot goes through a screen and bounces off a defenseman at the last second. And now swung around the dasher. Vandergulik will come down from the wing. Played back around the wall where it's gathered by Miller.
Schultz still feeling the effect of that shot he took right off the gut.
Goers now loose in his own. Backman, his shot is blocked, comes around for Dowd. Dowd, center blue line for Forbert. That shot ricochets off the back glass. Kuhnhackl and Gravel. They cancel each other out, but now Gravel watches as Kuhnhackl muscles by defense. Kuhnhackl has hit his man open the slot. Pouliot right there. Backhand shot. Save Berube. Rebound put over the crossbar. Kapanen circles way with the loose puck. McNeil over to Pouliot. His shot never came off his stick. McNeil bangs towards the front. Comes over to Drzenovic after it's deflected. He wrist wide. Pouliot skates away from Horvat. Pouliot wanted to drive towards the front of the net. Instead, he flips over to McNeil, but that puck carries the defenseman out to the neutral zone. And McNeil, the third-year pro from London, Ontario, he'll regroup in his own end as the Penguins get fresh legs on the ice. Already 5:24 gone in the third period. It remains 4-0 Manchester, and Jean-Francois Berube looking for the shutout bid and looking pretty good after 2 big saves moments ago. Sheary touches into the Manchester end. Rust and Laverde. One-on-one battle behind the net. Magna and O'Brien make it 2 for 2. Now Magna leans in on Laverde. Rust takes the puck off the defenseman's stick. O'Brien wrist around the wall. Bondarchuk. Nice work to settle that puck down. Sheary with a check in on Bondarchuk that the Penguins forward gets the worst of. Now it's Rust poking it away at center ice. Rust, he'll wind and fire. Save with the glove by Berube. He'll hold on. 13:56 remaining in regulation. It remains 4-0 Manchester on WILK News Radio.
Thinking about college? Then think about King's College. King's offers professional preparation for today's most rewarding fields, from healthcare and business administration to education. At King's, classes are small, providing opportunities for discussion, interactive learning, and individualized attention from your professors. King's College will give you the tools to succeed while you're there and long after you graduate. You'll gain more than an education. You'll learn the values of a lifetime. Call 570-208-5876 or visit kings.edu/admissions.
Welcome back to Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza, and Mart's Trailways is ready to take you out to the ball games. Mart's offers several trips to Yankees and Phillies home games, and they include great seats for the best views. Check out the list of games at www.martstours.com or call 1-800-432-8069. Glass half full, Penguins fans, as the Hershey Bears having an equally troublesome time with the Hartford Wolfpack. They trail 3-0 in Game 4 of that series, and Hartford in position to tie that series up. Wilkes Scranton right now just unable to break the safety net of the Manchester defense so far. But Berube, he made 2 tough saves, but for the most part, it's been one and done on the chances.
And it was beauty on shot number 21 on the night for the Wilkes Scranton Penguins. That was Derek Pouliot, who was turned away on a backhand shot. Berube has been really up to the task in this shutout bid here in game number 4.
Shearing away from the pressure of Schultz. Wrist shot from the far circle, kicked wide. Magna, he controls towards the front of the net. Russ right there, backhands wide, and that's been an all too familiar tale for the Wilkes Scranton Penguins. Good chances, but shots going wide. Now Chorney shoved off by Michael Mersch. Dumoulin across his own blue line for Magna. Jordan Wheel has 2 goals in this one. Second time in this series that he has put up 2 tallies, and he is now struck in all but 2 games out of 9 for the Monarchs in the playoffs so far. Harrington to Farnham. He'll loop through the neutral zone. Farnham trying to find a way across the blue line. Farnham had the stick slashed out of his hands. Now we'll get it back at the center ice logo. He accepts a pass from Harrington. Feeds it back to the defense. Goers from Harrington. And now left side for Farnham. He's got some room to maneuver at center ice. Farnham. Wrist towards Berube. He gloves that one down and again holds on as Uer with extra pushing and shoving on a Monarch still to be determined after Mark Antoni was dumped down trying to drive the net.
And this is the line that you expect again to do that. And Uer, Mark Antoni, and Farnham. But here we are late in this game. 12:43 left on the clock. 26-23 shots in favor of Manchester. And, you know, Obi, you're building towards the next game. If you're the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, you want to leave here with something positive, whether that's popping the top and scoring a goal here late in this hockey game or cutting into this deficit. Some way, somehow, you want to leave the ice tonight, being able to come back tomorrow night for game number 5 and realize, hey, look, we've got a little bit of momentum, and I think that's what the Penguins are trying to work towards here. But you're right, all night long they've had their chances. They just have not been able to finish.
Drzenek extends in front for Rowney. His shot was nullified by Laverde. 2-on-2 here, O'Brien and Backman against Pouliot and McNeil. O'Brien gains access into the Penguins' end. Cycle pass down low, picked off by McNeil, and he's quickly pushed off the puck by Dowd. McNeil answers back. Now it's O'Brien pulling free with the puck, and his wrist shot goes over the crossbar. O'Brien unable to get to that loose puck behind Zakov's net. Pouliot tips over to McNeil, held on side by Wheel. He'll lift it down low, hops off the top of the dasher to be gathered by Backman. Far side blue line by Bondarchuk. Shot blocked by Rowney. Kostopoulos softly sends it up to Rowney. Rowney rink wide for Pouliot. Pouliot couldn't get all that clear in attempt, and the Penguins still able to get a line change nevertheless. Wheel on hat-trick watch. Backhands into the Penguins' end. Dumoulin fires up for Kuhnhackl. He's got Captain far side. Instead, wrists over to Ebbett. Ebbett and Gravel. Gravel unable to win that battle against Ebbett, but Miller, the third man in. It looks like Ebbett takes down Miller, and that's going to be a high sticking call on Andrew Ebbett upcoming. Could be tripping, could be high sticking. Either way, the Penguins head to the penalty kill at 8:34 of the third period, and this will give the Monarchs their third power play of the game.
11:26 to go here, Obi, and the Manchester Monarchs are not taking their foot off the gas. They're still playing hard. They're still taking it to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, getting in the offensive zone, keeping in the offensive zone, making it difficult for the Penguins to get through the neutral zone and get anything in their own O zone. So here's the Monarchs just trying to add on, and when you go back, Obi, you look at that early goal by Wheel in that first period. The Penguins had back-to-back power plays with an opportunity to tie that game. The Penguins had taken advantage of one of those power plays, maybe a different game, but here the Monarchs are in the third period with a chance here with a man up to try to add to their 4-0 lead.
Really, the turning point in the second period was the third power play of the game where Wilkes-Barre Scranton was looking to strike. Instead, the shorthanded goal by Michael Mersch made it 2-0 for the Monarchs. Good shorthanded pressure here by Megna and Sheary. Backman from the red line. He flips by Goers, who now tries to track down Dowd. Harrington and Shore. They go into that scrum. Dowd falls down the puck. Now back to his feet. Harrington and Goers both go back after it. And it's Backman finally pulling free with the puck. Miller, he'll wind and fire. That went just wide. Zakov will trap it down as the bounce comes towards his crease off the rear wall. Good settle down play by Jeff Zadkov. 45 seconds off the clock on the Manchester Monarchs man advantage.
Yeah, that shorthanded goal, when you go back to it, really the backbreaker for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. There you are again with that man up. And we talk about special teams all the time, and you don't want to be hurt by special teams. And that shorthanded goal giving the Monarchs that little extra edge, and all they've done is build on it from that point forward. And at that point, you kind of felt like the Penguins got out of their game a little bit, began to press a little bit, and that opened the door for the Manchester Monarchs to really will their way in order to grab this 4-0 lead with 10.5 to go in the third period.
10.5 to go, as Colin just said, in the third period. It's 4-0 Monarchs. O'Neill drives down the right wing. McNeil unable to get away from him. And now Wheel with a shot, and he scores, and that's a hat trick for Jordan Wheel. His 10th of the postseason, beating Zakov to the blocker side, and a power play goal. 5-0 for the Monarchs as they match their postseason high.
And you just sit here tonight as you can see, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins looking up at the scoreboard and looking up at the Jumbotron to see, what happened on that play. But Jordan Wheel tonight, after being kept off the score sheet in game number 3, boy, has he made up for it in a big way for the Manchester Monarchs. It started 42 seconds into this hockey game, and it's continued here with just over 10 to go in the third period, picking up the hat trick. Jordan Wheel, we've talked about him. We've talked about that line with O'Neill and Mersch, and here you go. It's 5-0 Manchester after the third goal of the game by Wheel.
Just the second power play goal managed by the Monarchs in this series. And really just a add to the stats for the Monarchs and for Jordan Wheel. He's one behind the AHL leader, Teemu Polkinen, with 11 in 7 games. But will definitely take control of the point lead in the postseason, as he has 3 goals here this evening. Pouliot in the Manchester zone for Mark Antoni. Farnham for Mark Antoni. Still working hard as this checking line for the Penguins. Backhand shot off of Mark Antoni's stick. That deflects wide. Dumoulin to the point for Pouliot, but Pouliot was stationed out in the neutral zone. Farnham now to Air. Kicks across the blue line. Dumoulin knocked down. Now Farnham with a shot. That deflects over the crossbar. Uer will get to the rebound. Dragged away from him. Drzenovic back towards Berube. He makes a chest save. One to freeze it, but saw no one was in the area. Still a drop down for defenseman Derek Forbert. Kostopoulos takes it off his stick. Drzenovic tries to stick on in front over to Kostopoulos. Backhand shot, and they score! So Tom Kostopoulos breaks up the shutout bid for Jean-Francois Berube. And the Penguins on the board, though they trail 5-1 with 9:02 left in the third.
That's Nick Drzenovic, great play, and it's the captain, Tom Kostopoulos. You knew that he was not going to quit. He's the leader of this hockey team. Nick Drzenovic, though, again, the opportunity to come back from injury and get in the playoffs and be able to contribute to this team, making sure he makes the most of it. And number 29 is not going to go quietly no matter what the score says. Tom Kostopoulos picking up the goal for the Penguins. Now 5-1 with 9:02 to go. They needed something positive, Obi, to go into this next game. That could be a Tom Kostopoulos with the goal.
Tom Kostopoulos now the all-time leader for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins with 18 career postseason tallies. Icing on the Monarchs. Let's listen in. guess the lone assist.
His third of the playoffs. Assist to number 10, Nick Drazanovic. Time of the goal, 10:58. Penguins goal scored by Kostopoulos from Drazanovic.
So Drazanovic picks up his first point of the postseason. And the face-off won by Kostopoulos, but couldn't find Dumoulin at the blue line. Good defense by the Monarchs as Chorney works it back over to Drazanovic. Drazanovic shoved off by Schultz. Auger, circle to circle for Miller. He'll lay at the length. This will not have the speed for icing this time, and Chorney forced the collection deep in his own end. It's Dumoulin to Rust. Left side for Sheary. Back over to Rust. Rust pulls wide on Schultz. Cuts in front. Shot and a save by Berube. And the rebound puts in. The rebound's put in.
The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, Obi, as that horn sounds, there is no quit. And these fans now on their feet, and why not? That is Brian Rust that puts in the rebound, number 12. Again, you look at the two players, Drazanovic with the last assist. He's been sidelined for a while, and now it's Rust. Berube came up with the first save, but it was Rust, and he is fired up, and the Penguins score their second goal here this third period. Now 5-2 with 8:25 to go.
Timeout taken by Mike Stothers. He does not want to lose control of this game, and Wilkes-Barre Scranton, we talked about building something. Whether Wilkes-Barre Scranton is able to further erase this deficit, now down to 3 goals. Brian Rust showing the move that we've seen so many times before. Driving wide to left wing, cutting in front. If he doesn't get the initial shot by the goaltender, he's usually money to put in the rebound, and he did that right there.
And that, that's just hard work, Obi. That's smart hockey sense by Rust to go wide, come in that way. Give himself an opportunity. We've talked about this, and that's getting shots on goal. Get the puck on net, and that's what Brian Rust did, and stick with the play. That's also heads-up play, sticking with it, gets it by Berube. Look, you said it best. Whether they come back to win this game or not, again, remains to be seen. But what you do see is, again, the fight of a hockey team that will not go quietly in a playoff series.
Let's listen in.
Brian Rust, his second of the playoffs. Assist to number 43, Connor Sheary. And number 8, Brian Dumoulin.
Meanwhile, Harrington and Murch getting into it along the far side. Stoppage of play in the meantime, and we'll take a break. 8:13 remaining in regulation. Can the Penguins rally from behind, down 5-2 here on WILK News Radio.
Welcome to Master Travel, your one-stop center for all your corporate and leisure travel needs. We offer you the lowest rates in the area with no additional service fee for our expertise. Our certified cruise counselors, Disney, and group tour specialists will help you plan your family vacation, cruise, or honeymoon. We offer all-inclusive packages and more. For personal service and attention to every last detail of your trip, just call Master Travel today.
At McCarthy Tire and Service Centers, we have some impressive numbers. After 87 years, we're the 7th largest commercial tire dealer in the U.S. with over 40 locations in 7 states. Right? So what? Well, the numbers just mean you can always count on a huge selection of tires, ASE certified repair and service, and most of all, you can count on us handling every tire and service as if it was for our own family. Locations in Wilkes-Barre, Kingston, Hazleton, and Scranton, or online at McCarthyTire.com. McCarthy Tire, count on us.
Wilkes-Barre Scranton has scored 2 goals, 37 seconds apart here in the third period to cut into what was a 5-0 Manchester lead. Connor Sheary now with at least 1 point in every Penguins playoff game so far. He's a team leader with 11. As Ebbets, Kuhnhackl, Rowney out there. McNeil and Harrington on the points. Ebbett wins the face-off to Rowney. Bounce back to the point for Harrington. Wristed deep for Ebbett. He couldn't collect that one. Now it's McNeil trying to hold on side. He can't, but Rowney can. McNeil near corner. Away from O'Neill. O'Neill and McNeil. A pair of Irishmen getting after it. Ebbett and Bodnerchuk now in the scrum. Rowney lurks, trying to find the loose puck. And it's O'Neill. Up towards Crescenzi, taken back by McNeil, but he's forced out to center ice. McNeil to Harrington, to Kuhnhackl. Batted away from him, now controlled by Miller. Miller for O'Neill. O'Neill and Harrington with a little knee-on-knee hit at center ice. O'Neill not too happy with that, but Harrington, I don't think that's much of a concern for him right now. McNeil unable to control puck now. Wrist shot from the point goes off the back of the wall, settles in on Zakov's net. Swung up the wall by Ebbett and intercepted by Vandergulik. Miller back down deep. Harrington and Shore having a little battle for it. Shore able to drag it away. Flips to the blue line for Schultz. He'll bat it back in the corner. McNeil trying to kick over to Ebbett. This line's been out there for a long time, and now it's Auger pulling free. Far circle shot. That goes off the rear wall as well. Kostopoulos feeds to McNeil, and the Penguins desperate for a line change, and Manchester has obviously used that timeout, a well-purposed timeout, to settle things down. Penguins wrist around the Manchester zone. Kostopoulos and Drzenovic give chase on the forecheck. Auger turns over to Drzenovic. Can he do anything with it? Drzenovic far circle. Drzenovic shoved off by Schultz. Drzenovic has it back once again. Over to Goers. He fixes on. Now he fires. Empty net and a rebound put on net. That's blockered away by Berube. Empty net here for the Penguins. Going with the extra attacker. Miller skates away from pressure. He'll bank it off the wall all the way down. This will not have the accuracy for the empty net, and Goers cuts away from O'Brien. Now to Pouliot. Sends it up the dasher. Backman intercepts. He'll fire. What a save by Goers with the leg. 6:08 remaining in regulation. Goers over to Kapanen and make that rust to Pouliot. He'll take it across blue line. Offside, though, was Huer and Rust. And we'll have a whistle and a timeout on the ice. 5:59 remaining in regulation. The Penguins trail 5-2.
Guys, did you know the Woodhouse Day Spa is not just for women? It's the perfect place for guys just like you. And you're invited to relax and unwind through services designed exclusively for you. The Woodhouse therapists use therapeutic techniques to release tension, eliminate knots, and relax the muscles. You'll feel like a different person when you leave. Nothing compares to the Woodhouse Day Spa, the preferred massage provider of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Call today for an appointment or go online at kingston.woodhousespas.com.
Hey fans, if you're looking for a gift for that special loved one, shop where the Penguins shop. That's at Vanscoy Diamond Mine on Mundy Street. It's their preferred jeweler. You'll no doubt see the largest selection, get the best price and the fastest service. They offer layaway and interest-free financing. That's Vanscoy Diamond Mine. That's on Mundy Street. Mundy Street on Mundy Street. I've been working with Jackie and Wayne. Go ahead. It threw me off.
That's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful. But they're great. Jackie and Wayne do a fantastic job. The Vanscoy Diamond Mine, the preferred jeweler of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins.
Sometimes it's not the journey, it's the destination.
That's
we got
right,
there together.
Obi.
6 minutes remaining in regulation. Zakov back in his net as the Penguins trying to get possession in the offensive zone. Dumoulin checked off by O'Neill, but now Dumoulin swings around the wall for Chorney. Back around the net for Kuhnackel. Kuhnackel trying to get away from the stick check of Laverde. Kuhnackel sent to the ice. Megna, Kapanen, Rust, Dumoulin, and Chorney all out there. Empty net here for the Penguins once again. It's Megna back into the trapezoid. Far wall and to the point for Chorney. Chorney wrist towards the front of the net. That is deflected away. Kapanen to the point for Dumoulin this time. Dumoulin, he'll try and fire. That goes off O'Neill out of play over the glass. So Wilkes-Barre Scranton, one trend I've noticed here, Con, is they take a little bit to tee up that shot. It's like Manchester's done such a good job blocking shots so far that they're waiting for the perfect lane to develop.
They're waiting for the perfect lane to develop. And we talk about that delicate balance as you wait. Time's ticking off the clock. You're down 3 goals, and you got to get pucks on net to try to make something happen. But you look at the size out there and the reach of some of those Manchester Monarch players. They get their stick downs, and they can really close up lanes for the Penguins. They're waiting for the right opportunity.
Ebbett and Shore in the face-off. Sheary trying to drag it away, and he flips back to Dumoulin. Empty net once again as Zakov heads to the bench. Dumoulin looking for the wrist shot. Blockered away by Auger, and now Dumoulin able to lift back over to Drzenovic. Pouliot. His back pass goes off a Vandergulik skate and rolls wide of the Penguins' net. 5 minutes remaining in regulation. Dumoulin's going to, and the Penguins are going to need to execute a little bit better if they want to get 3 goals in a hurry. Berube lost it behind his net. Miller chips up the wall. Chorney unable to hold on side, and Drzenovic gives chase once again. Drzenovic by Backman, now by Dowd. Drzenovic, he'll fling wide of Berube. Berube lets the defenseman handle things. Sheary unable to shove off Bondarchuk, Chorney down from the point. Drzenovic as well. Drzenovic, good work to hold on side. Wrist shot, stick aside by Berube. Kostopoulos settles things down, comes into the slot. Dowd fires off the wall and out. This puck rolls up on edge. It will go all the way down for icing with 4:19 remaining in regulation.
You said it, Obi. Execution has to be perfect here. Down 3 goals with just over 4 minutes to go, and then you go and you look back. How important was that power play goal by Wheel here in the third period to make it 5-0 instead of a 4-2 game? You're looking at a 5-2 game right now at this point. But whether it's passing, whether it's keeping in the zone, laying out, whatever you have to do to try to keep in the zone, the Penguins with that empty net have got to find a way to sustain an attack here over these next 4 minutes. They got 3 goals they have to make up.
Now firmly an empty net for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins with this offensive zone draw coming to the right of Berube. Megna and Dowd. Megna unable to win the face-off, but Goers will. Goers deep in the Monarch zone. Trying to chip to Kuhnhackl. It's Schultz tying him up. Megna able to skate the puck away. Megna cuts away from Bondarchuk. Megna still has it. Cuts around the far post. Being manhandled by Bondarchuk. Still Megna able to wrist around the wall, and it's Kapanen in near corner. Kapanen sauces one to the blue line, settled down by Harrington. Shot goes wide. Kapanen to the loose puck. Kapanen to Goers. Intercepted by Backman, but Rust on his horse to make sure of the empty net. Goal doesn't come here for Manchester. Megna waits for everyone to get on the same page. Goers now for Kapanen. Got a piece of it. They're going to say this is icing. He did not get a piece. And a bad breakout for Wilkes-Barre Scranton will force Zadkov back into his net with 3:35 remaining in regulation. The Penguins still down by 3. Checking in on the other out-of-town scores in the American Hockey League, it's a final. 3-1 Hartford. They have tied up the series versus Hershey 2-2. Utica leads Oklahoma City 2-1. 7:24 left in the second there. And that series tied at 1. Kostopoulos and Wheel. To the left of Zadkov. Won by Kostopoulos, but somehow Shore make that Mersch able to reach out to collect the puck. Harrington around the zone net. Rust unable to get the puck off the wall. Shot from the point by Gravel, blocked down by the Penguins, and it's Harrington regaining possession. Harrington past the forecheck of O'Neill, circle to circle. Goers has to contend with O'Neill once again. Harrington to Goers. Goers finally finds Sheary open on the right side. Along for Kostopoulos. Banged away from him. Zadkov still in his net. So no worries on an empty net goal. But the Penguins just trying to get through center ice. And unsuccessfully for the last minute or so. Now it's Kostopoulos. Make that Ebbett. Rimming back behind Berube's net. He stops the puck for Miller. Miller puts it right into the legs of Sheary. Now Miller and Bondarchuk go after it. Sheary gets after loose puck. Sheary throws it up top. Drzenovic bounces over to Dumoulin. But the puck bounced up on him, and now he needs to regather. Vandergulik and Shore. Shore towards the empty net. Right there is Pouliot to pick that off. Ebbett. Wrists around the dasher. Time quickly becoming the enemy. 2:28 remaining here in regulation. Penguins need 3 goals. Vandergulik away from the forechecking pressure of the Penguins. Bondarchuk up the dasher. Intercepted by Dumoulin. Shot goes wide off the stick of Berube. And Miller off the glass. Took a little bit off of it to make sure icing didn't ensue. Sheary bangs past Miller. Penguins in the midst of a line change, though, so Schultz got some time and space. Kicked back down low by Sheary. Megna and Schultz, the new combatants. And now Backman off the wall. Chorney is able to hold on side. The linesman says no with 1:55 left in this third period.
You look at shots on goal now, Obi. For most of this game, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins were trailing the Manchester Monarchs now 29-27 in favor of the Penguins here. 1:55 to go in the third, but you have to like the energy level you've seen from the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins here as this third period has progressed after giving up that power play go to Wheel. They've shown plenty of fight and no quit and trying to establish something as they head into Game 5 tomorrow night.
Megna and Dowd. Right outside the Monarchs' end, controlled by Manchester. Zadkov back in net. And a bouncing puck at center. Gathered by Laverde. Pinballing puck finally settled down by Gravel. And a lead on for Zach O'Brien. Zakoff to Chorney. Kapanen and down both go after it. They tangle up along the wall, and it's Chorney to Pouliot. 90 seconds left in the third. Rowney flips cross corner. Kapanen trying to use his speed, but just off was the timing on that rush. Now Kapanen and Laverde, they'll come together at the whistle, and 1:24 remaining in this final frame of regulation, and the brief flash of offense and momentum showed by Wilkes-Barre Scranton midway through this period, quickly nullified by the Monarchs after that timeout.
Yeah, the Monarchs have found a way again to make things difficult. For the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins to get through the neutral zone. They've been able to get into their own offensive zone. Manchester staying there for a little while, and when you're down 5-0, that is a big mountain to climb out of. The Penguins again had to play basically perfect hockey in order for that to happen. And unfortunately, the clock is not on their side, and they're going to, have to find a way, again, to use this last 1:24 to regenerate, again, some of that, as you said, flash of offensive attack to carry over into that next game, which is tomorrow night here at Mohegan Sun Arena.
Drzenovic, Ebbett, Kostopoulos. So the veterans out there at forward for Wilkes-Barre Scranton, Dumoulin and Pouliot on defense. Center ice draw. Drzenovic trying to hop in, throw on, and he does. Berube makes the glove save. Wristed down the ice by Manchester. This will be icing as Sheary gets the dots with 74 seconds remaining in this one. And time is standing still, but not a lot of stoppages here in the last couple minutes. But all of a sudden, we look up and just 1:14 remaining.
I think you have to like the way that Drzenovic and Russ played tonight. Really, certainly in the offensive zone. And what can you say about the captain and Tommy Kostopoulos, number 29, scoring a goal? But he was fighting down low all night long, trying again to get something by Berube.
Face-off, stalemate initially, but now a shot from Sheary comes in on Berube. Bondarchuk checks Berube to the ice. Kostopoulos, reverse pass intended for Sheary. His shot went just wide as he fired that from his knees. Kostopoulos to Dumoulin. Near side for Pouliot. He'll wind and fire. That kicks off the rear wall, goes high up in the air. Kostopoulos trying to leave for Ebbett. Ebbett worked off the puck by Crescenzi. And now the scrum will ensue. 45 seconds. Kostopoulos, center blue line for Dumoulin. Far circle for Pouliot. Pouliot, wrist over to Ebbett. Ebbett has Kostopoulos back door. Instead, it's a goal line pass for Drzenovic. That centering pass stick aside by Berube. Dumoulin to Kostopoulos. Wrist towards the front of the net. Quick turnaround shot by Sheary denied. Now chipped in and swatted wide by the Penguins. To Dumoulin it comes. Dumoulin, wrist towards the front of the net. Goes off the heel of Berube's glove and trickles wide. Ebbett to Dumoulin. Fakes a shot to Kostopoulos. One-timer. That's saved by Berube. Turnaround shot goes off the outside net. Drzenovic still battling now with 10 seconds remaining in the third period. Pouliot to Dumoulin. Dumoulin walks in the high slot. Lost control of the puck. Banged out to center ice. Auger will send it towards the empty net. Does he have enough time? The horn will sound. It matters not as the Penguins fall in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinal. 5-2 and now find themselves down 3-2. Make that 3-1 in this series.
You look over that last. I mean, they had the man up, obviously, with the empty net, but the Penguins, again, getting some shots in there in the final minute of play here. You look at the third period, again, you get the wheel goal and the power play that gave them the 5-0 lead. The Penguins had that flash. They had that push, but, being down 5 goals, you got to play near perfect hockey to get the job done. And for the Penguins tonight, they fall short. Now they find themselves in that 3-1 hole, but head coach John Hyde is going to expect his team to go in that locker room, face the music, and essentially come out tomorrow night and try to extend this series. It's not over. It's the first 1-4. I always remember hearing that, from the coaching staff. It's the first 1-4, and Manchester's not there yet. They're closer, but not there yet. So the Penguins have another opportunity tomorrow night here in front of the hometown fans.